All right, everybody, what's up? And welcome to your reading for the full moon in Leo. I am going to continue doing the readings like I did before, where I just show the card and it allows me to speak a little bit more clearly. And I can also do weird things like read like this, which is normally how I actually get downloads, and other things like that. So you're getting to see my face for this intro, and then we'll get to the reading on just the cards. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Indigo or Kate, Indigo Instinct Healing, and I provide channeled readings for the collectives every 2 weeks, every new moon and full moon, as well as healing and guided meditations for folks. So if you haven't checked out any of the healing meditations, or if you have questions about the ascension process or being a new soul or any of the metaphysical stuff in the world, check out my Transmission Tuesday videos as well. I have a ton of content on this channel that doesn't get seen, so take a little bit of a peruse. I will leave a playlist at the end of this video so you can check out more of my stuff, and you can leave a comment at the end of this video, please, if you like what you see. I also am open to suggestions for ideas for other types of videos. And I've also started a Patreon account, which is all about star seeds. So it's mostly writing. So if you don't know what a star seed is, or you feel like you might be a star seed, or you know that you are a star seed and you don't know what to do about it, head on over to my Patreon account and check that out there. I'm going to continue to update that, and I haven't switched it over just yet, but all of the tiers are just going to be a pay what you can, so it doesn't really matter what you're paying. You'll have access to all the same content, and you'll get to learn a lot more about the starseed world from me there. Welcome to your reading for the full moon in Leo. All right, so we have the Ace of Mirrors in reverse. And at first, I really thought that this card meant, that we don't need to look at ourselves right now, and that the Ace of Mirrors it's often a card of self-reflection and a card of really seeing into our inner psyches and the beginnings that are in our psyches, and dealing with the pool of emotions. As you can see, the water streaming out of the mirror, and all the nautical creatures that are surrounding the mirror. But really, what's coming through as the energy for this full moon is that it's not selfish to focus on yourself. It's not selfish to focus on yourself. It's not selfish to focus on self-development. It's not selfish to turn away from friends, or I don't mean isolate yourself, but it's not selfish to turn away from the stories or the dramas or the narratives of what's going on in other people's lives, so that you can really tune into the frequency of what you are, the stuff you're made of, and what you really need. And a lot of us don't actually know what that is. We don't know what we need to calm us down. We don't know what we need to make us happy. We often associate that with going out to the bar with friends, or getting a drink after work, or doing other things that are really external. But do we really know what we need internally to make us happy? If we were on a desert island, or we were, even in a new country, what would we need internally to make us happy? Or what do we need to manifest to make us happy? Is it some quiet time alone with a book? Or is it the time to make a really nice meal? Or is it the time to sit and watch the ocean? What do you really need internally to make yourself happy? So this is just a reminder that if you are feeling called to turn inward to yourself, or really turn to focus on yourself a little bit more, there is absolutely nothing selfish about that. And it's actually encouraged, because if you don't start to, I sound like a broken record, and maybe it's a lesson for me. I mean, these readings are always partially a lesson for me as well. But until you really pull into the truth of what it is that makes you tick and what it is that you need exactly, you will always struggle in your relationships, because you will always be a little bit too willing to bend at the will of others so that you feel like you are being a good friend or providing or showing up in a way that they want you to. Until you're really firm in what you know that you need and want, you will always be at the mercy of those relationships. So turn towards yourself, be a little self-focused, and don't worry about the selfishness part. Lots of cards in reverse today. This is an ironic little turn. So the Druid in reverse. And the caption under the Druid says, "Hold the space." And the message that's coming through with this reversal, it was feeling like a really feminine card. And I was like, why is this feeling like such a feminine card, especially when we pulled the Druid, which is, really a sacred masculine representation. But it's really about, what if the space is held for you? How does it feel to actually show up to receive? To allow yourself to be a little bit held, to allow yourself to be a little bit like cocooned or like cradled. I almost said coddled, but in the most positive sense of the word. If we can tap into this beautiful expansion that happens to us when we allow ourselves to receive, we will allow ourselves to level up in a way that we never imagined possible. I hear this spoken a lot in mindset coaching and in abundance mindsets, and a lot of these wiser people or people who have shifted their own mindsets say that if your portal to receive is really small, then you can only receive so much. The more you open yourself to receiving the healing that you need, receiving the tenderness that you're craving, receiving the acknowledgement or the praise that you desire, or the sense of sensuality that you want to feel in your body, the more you open yourself to receiving that, the more space you're going to create for expansion within yourself. A lot of us are still really pushing. We're trying to muscle our way through these problems, these answers, these trials and tribulations. What does it feel like to lean back and to receive the help that's coming to you? Don't try to act, just try to receive. I think we'll do 4 cards today just because it's feeling like it. I don't know if we've always been doing 4 lately. All right, I had 2 come out at once. We have the Mountain, Stand Your Ground, and we have Wise One, Grow Beyond Your Current Situation, or Grow Within Your Current Situation. And the Mountain card is coming in as a really specific thing. Like, it could be a job choice decision, a relationship choice decision. It could be like, do I go and spend the money on the paint that I want to start painting as a hobby, even though I feel like I suck at it? It's like a very specific thing. And the answer is absolutely yes. If you're looking for a sign, about whether this is a yes or no thing, whether you're making the right decision, whether you should do the thing or make the decision or make the change or whatever, this is your yes. And that's really all that this mountain card is coming through as. It's a very simple, very specific situational yes to whatever you had asked. And for the wise one, this is a really, really beautiful relationship card that is asking you to turn to somebody in your life that you may have a peripheral relationship with. It could be a coworker or like a senior person that you work with that you're not really that close with, or someone who you've been around, or maybe like a friend of a friend, maybe like a parent's friend that you know, but you haven't always had a super close connection with. This is a really warm card that's letting you know that this person is going to become much more of a beautiful mentor than you ever realized. And if you can allow yourself to drop all notions of who this person has been up until this point and walk into this full moon and walk into this new, consider it a new interaction the next time you see them, you will be shocked at how much support and wisdom and guidance and beauty and connection this relationship is going to provide for you. So allow yourself to really feel into that, to lean into it. Allow yourself to be nurtured. And, the image that I'm getting is like someone's brushing your hair for you. Like, allow yourself to really be taught and held by this person, because if you can suspend your ideas of who this person has been in the past, you will be so pleasantly surprised about how incredibly beautiful they are and the incredible, beautiful lessons they have to teach you. You just have to forget about who they were up until this point. I'm going to finish off with our other Chrysalis deck because those two cards came out at once. The cards are they're very specific today. Like every time I go to pull one, it's like, no, this is the exact one you need to pull. The moon card. It's so beautiful. And I love that we got a crescent moon on the full moon, because this card is really about patience. Whatever it is that you're manifesting, whether it's a change in your situation or you've been holding the vision of that place where you're successful, you have the job that you want, you're living in the place that you want, or the new location, maybe it's the relationship, or maybe it's even the return to calmer seas if you're really in a storm right now and you've been in a storm for a while. This is a really, really poignant patience card. And what it's asking you to do is, what can you do to bide your time in the meantime while you're practicing patience? There's this really cute and challenging video of these two kids that are told, it's a psychology video about these two kids that are told that they can have a marshmallow that's sitting on the table, but if they can wait until their parents or whoever's administering the study comes back into the room, they can have 2 marshmallows. But they can't touch the marshmallow until the adult comes back into the room. And this study is done with kids who are like 2 years old, and watching the ways in which these kids distract themselves or delay their desire to touch the marshmallow or to take the marshmallow in all of these different creative ways is so incredibly inspiring to watch somebody really struggle and to come up with all these different ways in which they can avoid looking at the thing that is directly sort of pulling at them. And so, maybe that's just taking up a hobby to ease off some of the pressure of the manifesting, the routine, the thing you're creating, the pulling, the constructing, that really the doingness of all the things that you're looking for. And maybe the more that you crochet, the more that you're being, and the more that you're being, the more you feel inspired. What types of activities can you bring into your life right now that help you feel like you can have a sense of patience while you're waiting? I have a friend who has been dealing with some really challenging health stuff for a few years, and she's really young, and it's totally put her life on hold. And in the process, her artistic talent has exploded. She was always creative. She was always an artist. She always liked to draw and do other sorts of creative things. But because she needed to find a way to bide her time and distract herself from the pain condition and really just pass time in a way that made her feel a little bit less crazy and a little more grounded, her talent has just absolutely skyrocketed into space. And so anything in the world, any activity that you would like to try or you're even vaguely interested in trying, what thing can you do for yourself that allows you to feel like you can just relax a little bit and gain a little bit more of that patience? And this really is about a gentle technique and not about a sit down and meditate for 30 minutes, because that doesn't work for everybody and that doesn't feel calming for everybody. So what can you bring in? What practice can you bring in? What activity can you bring in to feel like you can bide your time, to stretch out this waiting period? Because like I said in the previous video with the 5 of spirals and the dragon, we're not out of the woods yet. We're moving along, but we're not out of the woods yet. So stay patient, stay compassionate with yourself. Don't worry about being selfish or self-centered or self-focused right now. And back to that mountain card, whatever you were asking is an absolute yes. So that is all I have for you today. As always, take beautiful care of yourselves. And if you would like to book a private reading with me, I'm still taking one-on-one clients for readings only. You can drop me a DM on Instagram at indigo.instinct. You can hit up my email that's in the description box below, or you can even leave a comment on this video. I do comment and read all of the comments that are posted. I've also started a Patreon account that has some writing. Most of it is all free right now. It's just a place for me to put my writing. So if you're a starseed or an empath or a highly sensitive person, I highly recommend you check out the Patreon. That's also in the description box. And if you would like to support my work, because I am really an aspiring creative in this sense, you can click on my PayPal below and leave a donation, or hit the super thanks heart underneath this video. Thanks so much, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Blessings on this full moon.